live, and it's Jess the Ska Kid, and this is Extrinsic from Chicago, parentheses acoustic, and
Hello.
they just got done playing their set. This is Alex and Adela, right?
Yes.
Hey, and it's Saturday night. We're gonna talk music stuffs, okay?
Woo. Beautiful.
Yeah, you ready? I need a little bit more umph from you, man.
Beautiful.
Yeah! Do that.
Adela, my cello player. Cello.
Hi.
Cello.
Cello.
All right, so let's
Don't know
talk.
how many times I've heard that, but okay.
Oh, yeah? Does everyone walk up to you and say that?
Yep.
Jack Black,
Exactly.
School of Rock. Great movie.
There you go.
That's gift points. Hey, and welcome. If you have questions as we are going along, viewing audience, feel free to leave a comment saying, hey, I have a question. Here is said question. We're open for those. So let's talk Extrinsic. First off, your name is really hard to say for me, and I struggle every single time that I say it. Extrinsic is what I want to say, but I have to really enunciate. How the hell did you come up with this band name?
So I was working in my shop. I'm an auto technician by trade to eat food, and I was really distracted during work. So while looking up the procedure for a car, I started, this is when I was starting my band, I also Googled weird names, and I came across Extrinsic after looking through a bunch of names, and I found that there were no bands named Extrinsic, so I chose it that. However, in the past year, I've looked, and there is a band in the Middle East. I think it's Morocco. I don't know, somewhere weird.
Yeah,
they have a band called Extrinsic, but it's like Extrinsic with a K at the end. And I don't know, I didn't really like their music. It was kind of weird. But they messaged me and said, can you change your name? I'm like, no. Like,
They legit messaged you?
yeah. And first they messaged me and it was translated all in like foreign language. I had to like Google Translate it. And then, yeah, I don't know. Weird.
But you were there
But,
first.
yes, we are the
So-
real Extrinsic, at least from the North Americas.
The Americas.
The Americas, yeah, not the North. There's only one, right? Yeah.
What? This guy works on cars. He's not a geography major.
Right.
We're
no,
good.
Yeah, exactly.
There is only one, though.
Yes, I was just correcting myself.
So
With the assurance of you.
this band legit messaged you and was like, change your name? Did you have a copyright? Were they on Facebook
no,
first?
there's no
Is there a
copyright.
war?
I don't know. I mean, we're a legitimate band, but
You-
that'll
yes,
happen.
yeah.
But no, yeah, they're like, we're Extrinsic, and I saw that they started in August of 2016, but I started the band in 2015, so, you know, I'm not
And
going to change
in
ourselves
fairness,
for that.
you did message me and you were like, I'm this guy in this band. And he, like, how, when I did the radio thing. So.
Right, and we don't have a K at the end, so I don't know.
Nope.
It's a lot less money to print that single letter. I'm
Also,
guessing.
this must be spelled correctly because the fucking autocorrect makes it this anyway.
Right.
By the way.
Yeah,
the more you know.
illiterate.
It's good to know.
So, you're normally not an acoustic, though, correct?
I wouldn't say normally not. I would say sometimes not. 50-50. It depends on the members of our band. We've come through a lot of cool people throughout our time of being a band, particularly drummers who like playing drums but don't really want to commit to touring and recording and being stable members, which is fine. We have fun, but we're still looking for that golden child to be a part of our
So
music.
if you're a drummer,
Right,
please.
yes. Let us be our promotion for finding a drummer.
So, where in Chicago, though, are you located? If we're going to further promote you all, if you live in blank area in Chicago, Illinois, what neighborhood, suburb, etc.?
West Side suburbs. West. I grew up
Like
in Elmhurst.
Lombard?
She lives in Elmhurst. I grew up in Elmhurst. I've been living in Lombard on my own for the past 4 years and whatnot. So yeah, just that general area. DuPage County.
DuPage County.
Yep.
Ah.
Much better than Cook. We don't have those outrageous taxes.
Ah. So you are like parallel to Chicago.
Right, and we're 10 minutes on the CTA or Metro, and then take the CTA wherever we go. I love it. I'd rather be in the burbs in the city all day, but I love the city. Chicago is like our home, but where we live and reside is the suburbs.
So if you out there are listening, just tuning in or like paying attention later on in life when this is on YouTube and the website, and you're like, what? These guys are located just west of Chicago in a little suburb. Where do you practice, though?
Elmhurst College, thankfully to Adele.
Oh. Okay.
Now she's not second chair nothing. Good job, Alex. No.
No. I think it's fine. I mean, I'm an Elmhurst College student, so.
Elmhurst
We
College.
practice in my van in the parking lot.
Down by the river?
Yeah.
The Chicago. Oh, God, that's. I had to. It was full circle, right? It just happened. It,
That was a good one.
Yeah.
fell out of my mouth.
It's all right. No, I mean, but yeah, we practice at Elmhurst College. Sometimes we practice, wherever we can, really. Like, if it's a late weeknight, then we try to practice outside of, like, homes into, like, practice studios or whatever.
How often do you practice? Because if someone is listening and wants to make that commitment, what does that mean for your band? Do you play once a week, and you tour most often? Or are you practicing 3 days a week and they have to be available every other night of the week to play a show? Right? Because you're a college student, so...
I, too, am a college student at a community college, and I work full-time. But we practice on our own every day about, where we can. And if we...
It might not be
If
bad.
we have...
Bring it up close.
If we have a commitment to a show that we're going to play, we practice at a minimum once a week, preparing ourselves and getting our ideas out and generating a set list and just being comfortable for the show, appropriate to what we're playing.
So not that big of a commitment. Like, you have to make it to practice once a week and be available for shows that are committed to, yeah?
Right, but I mean, if it's like a business, if you're, you have a business meeting, everybody that goes to that business meeting has to be prepared with their side and their portion of what they got to do. And that's what we do, and then we collaborate and change, thing or two here and there and just progress. And we have fun. That's the most important thing. We love what we do. We like the music. I mean, at least I do. I think Adela does.
Oh, yeah.
For what she has committed to. She's awesome.
For sure.
So let's talk about that, because for me, you're the first cello, and
Woo.
I know, good job, and B, it was very well done.
Thank you.
I like I said earlier, the different instrumentation that is incorporated into music anyway. So how did cello enter into the scene? How did you meet? And what is your contributing part in this band?
Well, from what I remember, I think Alex made like a post on Facebook or something. He was like, I'm looking for a cello player or something like that. And then I didn't know him at the time. A mutual friend connected us. She tagged me in his post. And I was like, I love playing the cello, and I've been kind of expanding beyond just classical music because that gets a little bit boring. At least for me, I don't really want to stick to that genre. So I was looking for different, projects to just play in and around at the time. And I saw Alex's music, and I was like, why not? I've never played like this kind of harder, not necessarily harder rock, but like darker stuff before on a cello, and it's fun because I have to tune down a full step almost, like half step to a full step down, which gives the cello a really cool kind of richer sound. And so we practiced once, and I was like, this is really cool. I really want to try to play with you if I can, and do some stuff. And that was last year already. Yeah. In like the first show was like 2016, December 2016. And then I did bail on him a little bit for a few months after probably the springtime, because I was like, I wasn't sure how much time I would have being in college and whatnot. But then he messaged me back again, and after we started playing again, I was like, I really love this music. It's got a cool flair to it. I think Alex does most of the songwriting. I just kind of come up with random cello stuff whenever, feels appropriate. And I think it's a cool mix. I think we've got something in the works. It still needs to be worked on more, but it's something.
It's definitely awesome. Adela is great. Her and I keep each other in check. It's like I'm the rock and roller punk rock or whatever, and I'm like, rock and roll's not meant to be perfect. Let's just play our hearts out and have fun. And she's all about it, and she gets down on that. And then, like when I'm being too sloppy or I need to, be a little emphasis on this part, she's like, no, like I get your vibe and I get like your style, but you really should be doing this. And I listen to that. So like it's a really nice, cooperative group that we have just together.
So this brings up another question. So classically trained. You're classically trained, meaning you can read music, you understand music theory, I'm classically trained. I still guess on that bullshit.
Yeah, sometimes.
I'm like, what? I don't know what this sounds
Exactly.
right. I don't want to do this in front of you. I'm going to go listen to this quietly
Exactly.
and then come up with something and be able to tell you. Give me a sec. Yeah, we understand music theory. But classical training is way different. Were you ever classically trained in any instrument, or did you pick up a guitar one day full of angst as a teenager and say, fuck you, Mom, smoked your Marlboro and decided to start figuring out guitar?
I played the recorder in 5th grade for a year, and I did choir in 4th grade for a half a year. Other than that, I'm all self-taught, and I don't think either of those things help me read music, because I still can't right now.
That's okay. I can read music, but kids
I just sing and play.
can't.
You know, reading music doesn't really necessarily mean you're going to be a good musician, though.
Right.
I know
No,
plenty of
most
good
definitely.
musicians
Right.
who, or rather, plenty of bad musicians who read music. You know what I mean? So
I
It's-
do. It's either. I almost fall into the bad musician category. I'm not gonna lie, because you so far have been able to translate and pick up and follow along. You are a thing. When I've been thrown into the mix, I'm like, so you didn't write it down, so give me a sec. I have to listen and be able to play it, which is challenging for me because I've never done that before. So at least, I mean, this meshes very well. I was impressed. I really like it.
thank you.
Glad to hear that.
What does it sound like? Do you ever play when it is the full band and you have electric and a drummer?
I have not played with a full band yet. I hope to at
You
some
need
point.
to do this so you throw off every fucking person in Chicago, because they would not even fucking see it coming. They'd be like, "We came to a rock show." What? She's sitting and she has a bow.
Well, we're eventually, I mean,
Calling you
yeah,
out, Chicago.
exactly. We've had the full band, and when we have a full band, usually we play rock and roll, and we're, moshing around all getting at it. And Adela has been invited, but it just hasn't worked out yet. And once we
Yeah.
find the drummer, that's going to be our permanent member of the group, and we, collect ourselves and really make ourselves our thing, which we're kind of honing into right now for the past year and a half or so, getting the music down, getting the people together, and just getting ourselves comfortable with it. That will happen. Now, whether she's going to be sitting down or jumping around and
That's
thrashing
the
with us,
question.
that's the thing. We've also
Yeah.
talked
Did you
about
strap that on?
I don't. I was thinking
Do they have like a
or-
chest?
but
front
you could
piece?
you could always put like a stoop,
First of all, that what Alex is going for. But then, actually, like Polish Highlanders. So I'm Polish, and yeah, and in southern Poland, there's this tradition of like Highlander music. So like these like people from the mountains, like the folk music. They have just traditional violin and stuff. But then they also have a cello player who walks around and has a strap and plays like 2 notes. But like he walks around and plays like that. So I was
like
thinking,
a tuba player.
yeah, like the
straps
tu-
like this.
yeah, it's really funny. So I was thinking either something like that, or like you can also get. And I don't know if y'all know how cellos work, but cellos work by drawing out an end pin and you kind of stick it in the ground and you play. You can get an extension for that end pin, where you can get it to stand up almost to your height. So I could try. Like have you guys ever seen what's that cello metal band? Do y'all know what I'm talking about? No.
This is
Anybody?
a trivia question.
It's not Von
Anybody?
Canto, right?
No. Oh, do you know what I'm talking about?
No,
Over
he's
there?
pointing because we're agreeing that this is a trivia question. You done
okay.
stumped us, Adela.
Damn. But there's like
She
a.
stumped
Do
herself.
you know?
No, not 2 cellos. Not 2 cellos. They're a thing. But there's like a metal like. Oh God. Anyway, they do that.
I think you showed me, but I don't recall the name
Yeah,
either.
We don't
It's a
even
lot
have a
better.
fucking answer for this question.
Okay. Anyway, well the thing.
Put it in the comments.
Poetry-
The person that gets it in the
Yeah,
comments
so whoever
will
gets this,
get a digital cookie.
digital cookie.
they get a T-shirt, a Jess the Ska Kid thing. A thing. It's a thing.
Plus a digital cookie from Alex. Anyway,
What's that look like? Is
yeah.
it chocolate chip? Is it Oreo?
I don't know, emoji. I'm sure they have an emoji cookie.
They do. They have an emoji cigarette and a rude boy now who floats. You fucking
Wait,
float.
what's a rude boy?
Oh God.
I know like the rappers, right? They're like I don't know, maybe.
Is that a real question?
Yeah.
For real?
For real, I don't know. I mean, enlighten me. What is a rude boy?
Oh dear God. I don't know if we have time. She was on a story.
Okay.
This is
okay.
your interview, but Rude Boys, because I'll be Googled momentarily, is a look, style, persona, attitude of what ska kids are. Rude Boys came out in 1950 when ska became a thing in Jamaica. And they would shave their heads, they would wear the Fred Perry t-shirts, working class boots, because what they were trying to do was say, fuck you people who are trying to enslave us, we're going to look like working class boys. And then when it went over to England, it became a whole nother thing where you have the skin culture who
Got it.
adapted it and shaved their heads. Rude Boys usually have hair, and they also normally wear the caps. They're more professionally dressed than what a skinhead would look like, but we all fall under the same category of what ska music is. I am really shocked that
Hey, the more you know, the more you know,
more you know.
the more you know. Facebook,
Did you
One
know
North
this?
America,
I did not know
and
this.
Rude
I didn't
Boys
Wow,
are ska kids.
You're smart, Adela. No.
I just was like, yeah, okay.
Okay, this brings up a great question then, a follow-up question. So, I don't mean to like categorize
You're
stuff,
fine.
but like your name on Facebook is Oleg.
Yeah.
All right? And you're like me and my cellist, cellist, there you
It's
go.
okay.
Adela.
Third time's a charm.
And I was like, I looked at Kif, and I was like, I don't mean to judge people by
You are
names,
fine.
but they are super Scandinavian. Like, and he goes, that or Russian. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, I don't know. I didn't even know your real name was, Alex. So I like Oleg. But so that was interesting.
I'm a poser. Adela's the real Polish girl.
Yes.
But that's not hard to find in Chicago, especially the
That's true.
burbs.
We are
But
the
it does make me want kielbasa.
yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, "Psst,
There
hey,
is
I got
yeah.
you a shirt.
Hey,
You got some pierogies for me, baby? Hey, what's up?
I can get you some,
Watch
girl.
these.
You know I can get you some. I got a lot.
I have a friend who is also Polish, and at Christmas time, she makes a ton of pierogies.
Same
She
here.
be quiet, Danny. Go away. She makes both dessert and dinner pierogies, and she's like, so which ones you want? And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, man.
Sometimes when you're like really jamming on some
Yeah.
snacks and you stand over the counter like this and you're like, and then your boyfriend comes in and is like, you talking to the food again, baby? You know what? Fuck you. I like food just as much as I like you.
Nice.
You both get 8, so don't ask questions.
Oh.
The intent of
But yeah,
Extrinsic was
yes.
not a Polish
It was
duo.
banana bread. But he
It's
makes
okay.
really good food. Kip's the chef.
But-
So here's the question. You ready?
Yes.
You ready?
Yes.
So influences. What are your musical influences? Because obviously, it's not ska. Because you found me on Facebook and started following me.
Yeah.
But
I
what are
mean,
your influences to make this thing? What do you normally listen to?
You go first, Adela.
Doom
Me?
metal?
I want to hear you.
Oh,
I can learn too. I mean,
Oh,
I know
man.
some of your influences, but
Okay.
let's get into it.
So I guess when I was thinking of what to do for this collaboration here, I listened to a lot of. Well, okay, it's gonna sound weird, but there's a band or there's a collaboration by Yo-Yo Ma. And it's kind of like a bluegrass jazz thing, but they get into some darker stuff too every once in a while. And they're called Goat Road Studio Sessions. And they're fantastic, and that's a huge influence of mine whenever I try to play stuff that's like outside of the box. So I listen to them a lot, and then my brother's huge into Metallica, and he has like every single Metallica CD, so I'd listen to that a lot.
St. Anger's a
And-
sellout album. I'm not going to lie.
Called out.
Ooh,
Fuck you,
wrong.
Metallica. Just saying. They're like,
Yeah.
who's that anyway? They'll
Yeah.
sue me and then I won't be able to do this.
Oh,
Just
wait.
like Napster.
It would cost them more money to see you than what they get out of it.
That's true. I don't know.
Basement that's not mine. Cool, bruh. I'll give you a light.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Fuck you,
I
Lars.
don't know. Like, I mean, I don't listen to that much. Like, Oleg's like or Alex. I almost called you Oleg. I did call you Oleg.
Yeah.
It's because you're talking about Oleg and all that shit. Queen is a huge one. I'm not super like I like metal, but I'm not like a metalhead. I just kind of go to my friends' concerts, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So for me, it's my main influences are Queen, Goat Rodeo Sessions.
What do you drop
yeah.
into the CD player when you're like, you know what? fuck today. What are you gonna do?
Oh man.
Press play. What's the press play? What happens?
Press play. Oh man. There's so
What did you listen
many.
to driving up here?
Me?
Yeah.
I listen to Benjamin Clementine, but he's weird. I don't know what he is. He's like a male Nina Simone. Do you guys know Nina Simone?
Actually, none of these
No.
names.
All right.
I mean, like, I know who Yo-Yo Ma is.
Yeah, okay.
And
so,
Metallica.
All right. Yeah, those have been my big ones right now.
Yo-Yo Ma's cousin, Lil Nepatid.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Those are So Benjamin
School of
Clementine,
Rock.
Queen, Yo-Yo Ma, Metallica, Pink Floyd actually is a huge one. Wait, Pink Floyd is a huge one.
She's like, wait, I need to
Wait.
answer more.
Wait,
Go
Pink
ahead.
Floyd. Pink Floyd is my jam right now. I've been getting into like all their albums. Yes, Animals is a fantastic one. Dark Side of the Moon is great, but that's
Not by Martin Garrix.
like, there's so many more underrated albums that they've created, I think. Yeah, I agree. Although the audience could not hear what he just said, but Animals is very theatrical is what
Yeah, the beer
said
guy
over
back there.
Beer guy
Beer
back
guy.
there. Yeah.
He was
Beer
all
guy
like,
number 1. Where's beer guy number 2?
he's upstairs.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
Mike, calm down, Lily. And you, influences, and what do you have playing right now that you're listening to?
Oh man, so I try to make the music that we write in Extrinsic as diverse as my music taste.
But
Some of
ska
the most
doesn't get played into that mix. Your
it
Pandora's
does, but
broken,
as
bruh.
a ska kid, you would make fun of my ska choices because
Oh, he listens to third and fourth wave. He was gonna be like, I like Real Big Fish too, weren't you?
no, I was gonna say I like Operation Ivy and Rancid, but
Those
I
aren't
mean,
ska.
I consider them ska.
They're not ska.
ska
they're
punk.
ska punk.
Right?
That's
but
third wave.
That's about as far
Oh,
ska
no.
as I get into or have indulged into.
Fight.
Hey, we're peaceful. That's what the checkerboard
Tune in
stands
for
for.
the fight after this interview. Music
Just
wars.
on the porch like this. Hey, bro, what's up? You got to smoke?
Music
Yep.
wars. But in all honesty, my 3 favorite bands of all time would be, in order probably, man, it's hard, but Black Sabbath number 1 for sure. Black Sabbath. God, Geezer Butler, one of the greatest bassists I've ever listened to. Bill Ward on the drums, even though he's an asshole and wouldn't tour on the last tour for Black Sabbath. So great. Awesome. Yeah, it's amazing. Hank Williams III, the grandson of the great Hank Williams Sr., who is also on my list. Really inspired, especially City Slickin' on our song track list. The Addicts, a punk band from England in the 70s, 80s. They're amazing. And then, the 90s had an amazing amount of music because it was just like sloppy punk rock style with lyrics that actually meant something besides fuck the government and fuck people that have experience, I just really appreciate
Are you talking grunge? You
Yeah.
can say that because everybody
Well,
listening was like, they're a grunge band.
Well, I mean, alternative too. I mean, even like I consider the Foo Fighters more alternative than grunge or anything. Lemonheads, I don't know if they would be considered grunge. When I think of grunge, I think of like Mudhoney and Melvins and like more like harder
Melvins.
kind of just
Soundgarden.
sludgy. That's
Yeah.
not.
Alice in Chains,
Yeah, but that's still more
Nirvana.
alternative. I mean,
Nope. They
Nirva-
started off as grunge.
right, they
Which
started
albums
off.
you listening to? MTV's?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Getting into that, like Nirvana's, Bleach album is fucking awesome. Incesticide, like the B compilations, fucking awesome. Hairspray Queen, whatever the fuck he was doing on that song, is amazing.
He was quickly dying.
Like,
Oh, I'm allowed to say that it's my show. Hey, look, I found a beer.
But my point being is, aside from that punk rock aesthetic of just going around crazy, not mattering what you really play and how you do it, is that you play your heart out and give to the audience what you have, and not really try to
Bunny hop over.
conform to what people expect of you. Just play your heart out, and if people like it, people like it. If people don't like it, keep playing your heart out, and that's what we intend to do.
Where do you guys play?
Basements of parents, basements of
No, shows.
abandoned.
Shows?
Right.
Bars.
Well, I mean,
basements.
people's parents allow them to play shows in their basements sometimes.
Why
play
do
there.
grown-ups live with their parents?
You know.
There's an awkward silence that fell. Did they also buy the beer in the car you came in too?
We'll play anywhere. We'll play underground venues like the formerly known as they say, the Fallout, and off of Ashland.
They keep saying that.
That's a long story.
Cool? Black Couch was cool.
Black Couch was cool.
This
Abandoned
thing
Warehouse.
Abandoned Warehouse called the Black Couch, where they do shows there, but they also have like live art at the same time, and they do it's really dope. It's really cool. So that was really fun, like kind of bars and stuff like that. I mean,
we and we play at more like actual venues too, like Q Bars in Darien and Q Bar in Glendale Heights. They have a big stage, good sound, professional person that allows themselves to create sound that is actually professional, not just DIY shows, but we'll do everything we can take. We try to stay away from pay to play because I don't want to have to spend money out of my pocket just to be on a big stage.
You should always stay away from pay to play, not sometimes. Right. There is not ever going to be a return for you ever because they're using you.
But unless we know that we can sell the tickets for the show, then we'll play a show that's pay to play because
that's what they want you to do. That means they're not doing their job. Sorry, I'm really passionate about this thing. And like every musician should always say, "Fuck you, venue. I'm not paying you because you are a commodity. They are not."
Right. There's no reason that a 14-year-old needs to play on a big stage that their parents. No, you're right. I think it is bullshit. And that's why I won't play at the House of Blues, calling them out, because they're notorious for that. I'm not going to play on some big stage with some song.
Tonight. Hashtag calling it out.
Calling it out.
Oh boy.
I'm not going to spend $300 to play in front of 50 people because it makes me feel good. I want to play in front of 10 people that I didn't have to pay for, that genuinely like our music and like the style of music that we're playing and the other bands performing.
Right.
Supporting local acts.
Yes, that's what this whole show is all about.
Yeah.
So, tell your friends, share the stuff. It'll be on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
You can share that too.
That's why the DIY scene in Chicago is so cool, though, I think, too, because, like, especially if you get out, like, people just turn their apartments into venues, and it's fantastic. We haven't played there as a band there before, but I've just been out to a few recently because my friends and I are trying to start a similar movement back in kind of the west suburbs, and using them as a model because it's just fantastic. So many people come out and crowd into these tiny little apartments where you're like standing next to people shoulder to shoulder and just jamming with them, you know what I mean? It's the most fun thing ever.
$2 entry, you can't beat that. It's awesome.
Man.
Yeah.
And people go there.
House donation?
Do you, what is the question? Is there wine? Yes.
I mean,
yes, they slapped the bag.
Slap in the bag.
Oh. I was going to say, speaking of do-it-yourself venues, if you all are interested, there is a fellow basement host, I guess we'll call Rick. Rick hosts this thing called HVD. It used to be formerly known as Holiday Village Dungeon, but all of his bands are do-it-themselves. Our friend Adam, who lives in Wausau, also has the place called The Warren. They do this thing called New Year's Sleaze, where they have a 2-day music festival. It's all do-it-yourself. It's all... and was it?
Oh, no.
No, it's not going to be the fucking last year. You know that.
We'll bring it back.
It will be. But and we use... This is Palace de Chilarino. And until the landlord put the kibosh on, like, if we hear you after 10, you're evicted. Yeah. We said, okay, we'll listen. But we used to have shows, and we would at times have 150 people deep here for, like, 4 local bands. And I say local, but really we'll just say underground, because, like, that little kid, not little anymore, but Cade, showed up from Sheboygan to support his fucking 2-piece punk band. And like people like you who decide to come do this, you pay the gas, you show up, and really we're connecting the world with music.
I mean, you really
we're
are
a happy thing. Look, see,
we don't have any real connections.
Yeah.
Hashtag 31 don't fix so quick.
Underground DIY or a music venue, we don't have much connection outside of Illinois, so that's a big reason why I wanted.
You are not using the internet correctly, my son.
Right, but I mean, it's more about face-to-face interactions. You hearing our music, you hearing other people's music, and getting to know each other, and just supporting the scene that each person has. We have our
Forming
thing in
connection.
Chicago, which is very saturated, and then you guys have your thing up here. I don't really know how dense the band scene is out here, but
you should come hang out in Kenosha.
it seems like we need to.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. Music from all, like, we're all kids who played music, who grew up, whose parents played music, and probably I would say the 1970s, late 1970s, early 80s is when people started really saturating the Kenosha market with music. And through the 80s into the 90s, it became a fucking flooded market. I'm the Ska Kid because every fucking Friday night and then Saturday night and then Sunday night, there would be a new band with 5 other new bands playing here. And
That's
there
so
was
cool.
ska, there was punk, then the punk scene became pretty much the majority, but there's rock here. And it's rock that is produced and manufactured to sound like, we'll say Metallica, right? Or Nickelback, as Mike liked to say. Oh, I'm sorry. Whatever.
Hey, we got compared to Nickelback.
How?
Wait, how the fuck did you get compared to Nickelback?
It was at a bar. And I was doing a solo act, and I had maybe a 45-minute set, just played tunes. And I don't know their exact age, but I'll call them middle-aged women came up, and they're like, we liked your music.
These old
and like
broads.
right. They asked, hey, blah blah blah. We liked your music. Who are your influences? You remind me of that Chad guy. I don't know his last name, of Nickelback.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay. I took it. I mean, they're a band. They made it. I mean, obviously people like them. They have their own scene, even though everybody cringes at the name of it. I took it for what it is.
Yeah.
I really
It's
don't
okay.
know.
It's like Creed. We'll just accept you with arms wide open. Just Jesus did a lot.
So all you baby boomers out there,
But yes, there is a great music scene. Actually, if you go back and watch the shows, you'll see what kind of music we have around here: Madison, Chicago, Roselle, Illinois, Glenview, Sheboygan. You can catch.
Sheboygan.
I'm not. You know
just
that's
laughed.
the
That's so
surfing
great.
capital of the Midwest. They legit have not a joke,
uma,
not a joke. They
uma.
surf.
God.
They have surfing competitions, and the people who win them go to Hawaii and surf the North Shore.
You go, Sheboygan. God
They do.
damn, I didn't know
There's
that.
also a show. There's a movie called Surf's Up. It's a little kids movie.
Yeah.
But one of the characters in
He's
that
from
movie,
Sheboygan.
yes, he's a chicken. He's like a stoner chicken who fucking surfs. Yay, that's Wisconsin. But enough about all of this. Where can people find you? And you brought a box. See this ominous box? Because it's sad too. What's in this box?
There's toilet
You
paper.
fucking- You were on point. You were on point, friend. You win. This kid, did you see him? He fucking came prepared.
that was from our Peace Fest show where we camped out, so I had to have extra toilet paper.
Yes, he brought.
It's real. It's not fake toilet paper, my friend.
Is there fake toilet paper?
Why?
I don't know. Is there synthetic
Why?
toilet paper?
I don't know, I
Reusable
don't-
toilet paper?
Maybe.
Just
Isn't that
use
called
it,
your shirt? Or like just in
God.
case your sock.
I was gonna say.
So tell us where people can find Extrinsic.
We're on the Facebook. We are on the Bandcamp, and we are all around Chicago area. If you want a specific page, look up Extrinsic. If you don't know how to spell it, I guess I'll spell it for you. Like a break it down Barney style, as they say
Do it. Can you
EXTRINSIC.
No,
Yeah.
okay.
Extrinsic. You
Extrinsic.
you could
We
put
got
into
some
a
T-shirts
shirt.
too.
Look
that
it, he's
became
got two
prepared for
types.
the crew.
We got shirts.
Here's one. I don't know. Is that directed in the camera's view? And then a second one.
Hashtag.
This is our newer
Mike
model.
Memes T-shirt guy is like, hey, those are that's a mighty fun looking shirt. He's the bubbles.
I will
of
give
shirt.
a shout out to my friend Matt Schilda and Chris Foss, each designers of the T-shirt. I made the design, but they put it into effect on their computer programs.
Cool.
And
What about? Do you have CDs in there?
I have one CD that I was going to give to you guys that Adela actually printed out like a year ago.
Yeah. Right when we came out with it.
Yeah,
Cool.
so here you go. Happy.
It's rough
Awesome.
demo stuff.
Do you know?
We're
Happy
looking
Ska
If you
Day.
have this, if you have this on your computer, you can send it to
I
me.
do.
And I will send it to my other station, 91.1 WGTD HD,
Sounds
and they'll
like a
play you
plan.
for noon tune.
That'd be
Sounds
great.
like a
And if
plan.
you have a car that's before 2010, you might even have a CD player that you
Dude,
could use it with.
we have a car that's so before then that you would probably be like, oh, what are we driving in?
Hey, it's efficient.
The tape
Tape
player
player?
doesn't work, but the CD player does.
Yeah, that's why we don't have cassettes.
The round table. Mike wants to do hashtag Nights of the Round Table again.
I would also
Hashtag
like to
we love
say,
you. Hashtag heart. Hashtag is a smoke break time.
I would also like to say, outside of Extrinsic, for those that want to look into more music, Adela has her own personal
thank
cello page
you.
and her band
Aw.
page at Adela's with a apostrophe S, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, we're still doing some stuff. We're still trying to figure it out, but it's on the lighter side than this.
But it's
if you're in-
fantastic.
If you're interested, yeah.
You won't need Band-Aids and gauze after listening.
Oh no!
I'm kidding. There's no Diet Coke. We're not. I know the lights are on. We're all laughing. That's right, emo kids. You won't be able to get the joke because you gotta part your hair first.
I feel like somebody is trying to say something.
I'm a jerk. I'm gonna admit it. You all, they blindly followed me into this mess. I apologize. I apologize.
What did we get ourselves into?
If you get you started to get shunned by the kids at Kuma's, it's okay. My babysitter's man cooks there. We'll get you in. It'll be all right. They're like, fuck that Ska kid. You should be like, bitch, I eat all the burgers. Anyway, go Kuma's. Go Kuma's too. Kuma's. No?
Wait, are those the people that have the fake meat
bourbon.
burger? The burger that tastes like meat, but it's all vegetarian or something?
I don't know.
Vegan?
Vegetarians have
I think
been
it's
fucking
I
with
think it's
vegetables forever. I'm not okay with it. Yes, burgers.
Right,
Check out
there's a
Bourbon
burger.
Legends. Bourbon Legends. Tonight is the last night that you can buy the double cheap sleeves or the Slaughter Party. They are the first two bands that are participating in the Battle of the Band Burgers. Bourbon Legends, if you're hungry on your way home. It's 60th and 22nd in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And there are 16 bands that will face off throughout the year. From January to June, the 16 bands compete. They go into different brackets. Whoever wins at the end of the year gets their burger permanently put on the menu. And then this year,
That's pretty
the
dope.
money raised goes to Meals on Wheels, which is a local nonprofit organization that helps give elderly people food.
That
Help
sounds
your community
awesome.
out.
Yay! Underground helping everybody who will eventually be underground.
Hey.
Oh, I'm a horrible human.
What burger is tonight from last night?
The last night, tonight, is the last night you can get the double cheap sleeves and the Slaughter Party. Those two. And then tomorrow is the 28th of January, which starts the next bracket, which is Rude Rooster's Cali Burger and Siren of Sorrows, the Sorrow Burger. That tomorrow.
Sorry. Another
Rude
one.
Rooster
Had to get one last
from
one in.
Knights of the Round Table, the first table. Yes. So they can find you on the Facebooks. Do you have a band camp?
We do.
Yes, we do. Extrinsic.bandcamp official something. I don't know. Look it up. Extrinsic. We're from Chicago.
You don't know how to use the internet, do you?
I know enough.
No,
Go to
no.
our page on Facebook, like it or whatever you want. Don't like it, I don't care. And then click on the
No,
He
Bandcamp
does
link.
care.
He does
You
care.
care.
Please.
But he's got shirts for us, which is great, and you'll be able to catch them on here. You can catch them on YouTube tomorrow once these videos are uploaded, and you all will have a copy so you are able to share.
Sweet.
Questions, comments, concerns, or ponderings, feel free to direct them at jesstheskakid@gmail.com. You have anything else to say? You
That's
got
how the
enough
cookie
coming-
crumbles.
Yeah, did you Walter Cronkite that shit?
Yeah,
You
I did.
Do you
I've been waiting for that.
do you have an upcoming show anywhere besides this?
So I have a solo show, at least it's solo for right now. 2:25
Are
at
you invited?
Spanky's in Romeoville. She is invited, but
I was.
whether she
Yeah.
is able to make it or not is
I'm
up
not
in
sure
the
if I
air.
can make it or not. So.
However, not to put her on the spot.
I'm sorry.
Adela.
I know.
Other than that, I will be on Adela's. She also
Radio
runs
show.
a radio show called The Underbelly Hours that I'll be on in Elmhurst.
Yep.
In 2 months. A month?
A
It's
month.
February?
Exactly a month from now. So
Great.
It's gonna be cool.
This Jess the Ska Kid's a cool kid. Like her page, like her show. We'll be on at some point again, maybe.
As a
We'll
full
see.
thing.
As
But
a full
she's gonna
thing.
come back.
I'm gonna come
Like
back.
if you
Like, I'm
message
not
me,
invited?
No,
Like,
no.
only if
Like
she
if
is?
you message me and you're like, my band that's now electric with a drummer wants to come on, I'm like, nope, Adela. Like
Yeah,
she
dude,
has to
done.
come with.
I agree.
I will.
Right?
She's like 90% of the band.
Like if she doesn't come with, then I'll look at you the day you show up and be like, hey drummer, I don't give a fuck, go home. He'll be like, you didn't tell me she was me.
Wait, you're gonna intimidate our
Okay,
prospects.
thanks. Okay, thanks, bye, because we've reached the end of our show.
All right.
Oh,
Yep.
man.
All right.
Catch them. Facebook. Catch us next week. Andy Robert Palmer from Chicago. Thanks, bye.
Bye-bye.
Come on and listen to Jess.